There's always an element of danger and risk that comes with nature.
Checker 690 911, where's your emergency?
We have a fire. We've got haze and smoke up here at our property.
It was black, it was red. The realization was that we might be too late.
Hi, Daddy. Where's Mom? What's she stopping for?
I thought we were dead.
My name is Doug Gulick and I'm an aerospace engineer. I live here in Littleton with my wife and my 3 children. My wife and I went to Ohio State, met there, and then we moved to New York City. We decided in '97 to leave New York. We didn't want to raise our kids there. We wanted them to have a little more of a, mountain experience with tree houses and zip lines.
There's always an element of danger and risk that comes with nature, and we were aware of what those risks were.
Forest fires are a part of life out here. It's a part of the ecosystem.
Upon moving here, we realized that control burns were something that were conducted. It's very difficult to find information about the controlled burns. I smelled smoke one afternoon and called 911 and learned that there was a control burn happening south and west of us.
There is a bit of relief. There's a crew already on scene because they lit it. So I, just went back to work. We went back to our normal routine.
The kids were home from school. I was sitting here at my desk and I began to smell some smoke.
We had some really strong gusts happening.
Hey, that is very ominous looking out there.
I called 911.
Checker 690 911, where's your emergency?
We have a fire. We've got haze and smoke up here at our property. I've been smelling it for half an hour and I already called you guys and they said there was nothing, so.
Okay, we have a fire that's down at Lower Foxton Road.
It wasn't a prescribed burn, was it?
It was, but it's now not prescribed any farther.
And I said, that's crazy. Who would be doing a controlled burn? Because at that point we were having those 70-mile-an-hour gusts that they told us we were going to have.
Despite multiple calls to 911, they simply told her to stop calling, that this was a prescribed burn and that she shouldn't be concerned.
There's no evacuations or anything at this time.
When I can see fire and when I can see smoke, that's time for me to be prepared.
She was packing bags and just being ready. Still going online and still trying to find, any information, watching the news, but it really wasn't even a story at that time.
Something was wrong because none of our emergency people were communicating to us. The fact that they either were unable or unwilling to give us information really unnerved me.
Our only source of information was an anonymous blogger, Waterman of Evergreen. He was actually listening to a scanner of the fire and posting updates. And I saw mandatory Kester Road evacuation. It was time to go.
He grabbed the bag, he said, "We gotta go," and we ran to the car.
My oldest said to me that there's ashes falling from the sky. It wasn't even tree parts that were burning, it was paper. I realized that's a neighbor's house.
The first thing that I noticed was the sound. It sounded like a freight train. I knew at that moment that it was too late.
Kim went up the driveway before me. The kids all got into my car. I gave the phone to my son to video. I turned the corner into hell.
Daddy.
We'll make it. We're gonna be fine.
Hi, Daddy. Where's Mom? What's she stopping for?
I did stop the car for a second. I was basically leading my family right into the fire, and I questioned whether it was the right thing to do.
Her thought process was, maybe we should go back to the end of the road, further from the fire, even though we'd be trapped up here.
We would be at a dead-end road in the middle of a forest fire. A neighbor was passing us on the way out, and I thought it was a sign, and I had followed that car out.
Yeah, it's down there. It's down there now.
We went from black to really red spark flames. There were flames on both sides of the car.
A car needs oxygen to breathe. What if the engine, were to stall out? You couldn't have gotten out of the car where we were and lived.
I remember just acknowledging that we were leaving it all. It was not going to be the same.
She was not f***ing kidding me. Jesus Christ.
It was just pedal to the floor as fast as you can and just get out.
Whoa. I can really feel it.
There it is, right here, right here.
Oh my gosh. Zuma!
It's okay. We're out, we're out, we're out.
We ended up another mile or so getting out.
We got through and we were on the other side, and to look back, just the billowing black smoke, so close. But then moments later, some of the hottest fire hit that part of the road. I think the hardest thing was probably hugging my kids when we got out. Like, we'd made it and the joy should have been there, and I just was so sad. They were so destroyed. We learned that the house was still there because there was an aerial shot where we saw a roof. We were completely in shock. It didn't seem possible.
That treehouse is up.
Waterman of Evergreen. We never have found him.
It was just a miracle that somebody would actually think to do that and be able to get that information to us.
What would you say to Waterman of Evergreen if you...
I would say, Waterman of Evergreen, you saved our lives. That posting, had we come out much later, we just don't know what would have happened, so ever grateful.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Oh. Glad you guys made it out okay.
Thank you. I'm just so appreciative.
Waterman of Evergreen. How are you?
Nice to meet you. Hi, nice to meet
This
you.
is Dave. You were giving us some pretty good data. I mean, there was nothing else out there. We wouldn't have known.
I'm just part of a bigger team, volunteer team, that does posting online. I just happened to be the one doing the keystrokes at that time. Glad your house is still standing too. Others weren't so fortunate.
Yeah.
You betcha.
The heartache and the terrible things that other people had experienced in trying to escape, and the other people who were not able to get out, and those who died, we realized that we're the lucky ones.